Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it has been so long, but I have been video recording updates of my HA journey throughout the last almost 4 months. And so now you're gonna see a compilation of those video clips. Heads up, this is a long video. Feel free to come back and watch it. Watch it in little pieces. Again, these all would have been separate episodes, but I had a laptop issue. I still haven't gotten the new laptop. I'm being very picky about that because I want something that's going to be great for editing, that's going to last forever. So forgive me on this. It has taken time and my videos will take time, but I'm going to try and get them uploaded in the beginning of the week so they are ready to drop every weekend. I'm gonna shoot for Sunday every weekend so that I have Saturday to edit. But yeah, plan is every Sunday, new video. But here is a recap and a catch up of HA updates. Here we go.
Someday soon, I'm gonna make it. Yeah, all hard work's gonna be worth it. Ooh, everyone who didn't believe it. They don't know a thing. I'm gonna try. Work till I die, till I die, till I die. I'm gonna fail and get up, 'cause I'm not giving up on my dream.
Hey guys, I just wanted to start posting a daily update to put into my weekly episodes of my my recovery with hypothalamic amenorrhea. If you haven't seen my emotional episode, you can scroll down. The battle with hypothalamic amenorrhea is my original episode explaining what I have and everything that goes into it. But anyway, so update, I have decided to go all in for recovery. I am still waiting for the book, No Period Now What, to get here. But in the meantime, I have listened to countless podcasts. I actually found a podcast that I really like with Meg Dahl called The Unbreakable You. I feel like I'm getting so much clarity on things, like different symptoms, weird symptoms that I had all of a sudden are starting to make so much sense. And something else I had read from some of the girls in the support group, they talked about how their temperature is always super low. And I was like, oh my gosh, my whole life I've ran like 96, 97 degrees. And I never put, two and two together that this would be related to that. So the more and more that I'm going through recovery, the more and more that I'm watching the support group, listening to podcasts, the more I'm starting to connect a lot of dots. So part of recovery means that I have to eat all day long. So I'm eating a lot of fruit because that is a lot of carbs. And I think that's where I was lacking, was carbs, because I have pretty much been low carb for the last 2 years eating. I was on keto, and when I felt really unhealthy on that, I went to paleo. And for the most part, I've been on paleo. Other than that, I love milk. So I'm so happy that I get to drink my organic milk and not feel guilty about it. And the fact that when I want a bagel now, I can have a bagel. So far, recovery is really good. This is my first update video. I don't really know what day to consider going all in, because last Wednesday and Thursday, I believe, we had a work meeting, which is where I also got the call. But at the work meeting, there was a lot of carb style food. There was bagels for breakfast, there was fruit, there was pizza, and shockingly, I was like all about the food that day. And then I ended up getting like Taco Bell afterwards. So I'd like to think that I hit 2,500 calories that day. So I'd like to consider that the day that I really went all in, but we're going to consider those practice days. And I would say that I started going all in on Saturday. So Saturday, let's see what day that was, 15th, 14th. So September 14th, I decided to go all in, and I decided to just start eating food. Whatever sounds good, I go eat it. Like the other day, I was like, apple juice sounds good, and chocolate milk sounds good, and so does a cookie. And I had them. So I am super excited to finally just be able to eat food and not feel guilty for it. And it feels really, really good. So here's hoping that magic happens. I'm not excited about the body change still, but I'm trying to push past that mental block because it's inevitable. It's going to happen. And it sucks that society put into everybody's heads to judge each other on body. So I'm excited for this body change. I'm also really scared and nervous about it, but I'm going to learn to embrace it, because if I want to be a normal woman and get my normal cycle and not have to have all these scary life things to be scared of, then I really gotta love and embrace it. So here we go. The girl that does the podcast of Unbreakable You, it took her a year, and she didn't have her cycle for 12 years. So I feel like her story is very similar to mine. She's a couple years younger than me, and she actually got hers when she was younger. I'll post her link down below for her Instagram. I know she has Instagram, and I don't know if I can post a link for a podcast, but if I can't, then I will post the name of her podcast so you guys can look it up if you guys are interested in it. But I'm learning a lot, and I'm super excited. I really can't wait for my book to get here so I can just start soaking up everything. Working out is really like kind of difficult. Luckily, I wasn't like hardcore on a special workout regimen like I was trying to do. So it's not as hard, but it still is like, okay, I'm getting some flabby, but already my body feels better. It's crazy. Who knew just eating more in just a few days that would change? In fact, there are some things that I've struggled with my entire life that all of a sudden, since I've started eating food, all of a sudden I'm starting to notice changes. And that's probably like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's good. I'm excited. So I will see you guys later for another update. Hey guys, super excited. So I got my Amazon package. That means I got my book. So this is going to be my little guide, my big guide. This book is massive, you guys, to recovery. So I've already started implementing the major things like eating all day long and not tracking my calories, but making sure that I'm eating approximately 2,500 calories a day. I feel like maybe I am eating more than 2,500. But I'm definitely eating a lot of calories, and I'm eating a lot more carbs. I struggled a little bit today just because I got distracted. I got really busy, and I didn't feel hungry. So I really had to force myself to eat the other half of my lunch, which I had to break up into pieces, but I finally did get it eaten. And what I discovered, one of my favorite snacks to snack on, where it doesn't make me feel super full super fast, but it's actually like I'm able to eat it all day long and snack on it all day long, is pretzels. So I think pretzels is going to be my new jam. And what's cool is I can eat that with peanut butter if I wanted to, but today I just ate the pretzels like they were all day long. So nice, easy way to get my calorie intake up and also get some carb intake up. And yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys that update. I did get mad at myself a little bit earlier because I was getting shaky and I was like, gosh dang it, that means I need to eat more. And I really don't want to get to that point anymore, because that was usually my signal before recovery to tell me that I needed to eat, and because I didn't feel hunger. So when I would get shaky, I was like, oh, I need to eat. So not a good sign, but I am still getting my calories up and my carbs up. So I think by the end of the day, I should be solid. So I'm just going to snack, eat, and read a book. All right. That is what are we? So Saturday I went all in. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, day 4. Hey guys, I just want to make a point while I'm reading this book. I legit could have had a totally different life outcome the past, well, let's see, 13 years of my life had the doctors not lied to me. But when I got diagnosed with amenorrhea at 16, it might have been 15 or 16, they told me it would be super dangerous if I was to become overweight. So at that point, they said like my body was at a good weight. So I was terrified to gain weight after that. And I think that's what really started my fear in weight gain and food control. And what I'm learning about HA, is that fear is what literally caused this whole entire mindset that I've been put in my entire life. And then I put so much stress on like making sure I did not become overweight. And I repeated that so many times throughout my life because a doctor told me that. So I just want to give any advice for anybody that is missing their periods or anybody that's been diagnosed with amenorrhea or HA. Don't worry about weight. Like, just gain the weight, eat the food, and see what happens. Hey guys, I'm super excited. Got my package, which has my weighted blanket in it, which is good for anxiety and stress, and it's just nice and calming, very zen. Y'all know me, I'm all about zen. So I'm trying to open this up for you guys with one hand. And my poor brother had to carry it all the way to work. Let me see if I can like prop you guys up. That way you can get the full experience. Weighted blankets are like super cute right now. Alrighty guys, let's check out this weighted blanket. So excited. This is something I've wanted for a very long time. Oh, yay. So I actually got a 20-pound weighted blanket, and it's pretty heavy. Like, I guess the post office lady was like struggling when she had to bring it up to my brother, and then my brother carried it all the way to work. So I feel sort of bad because it's my package that arrived while I was out of town. And this is what it looks like. And I have a gray and then accented with like a light pink and rose gold. So this was perfect for my room. All right. Well, I was super excited about this, and since having to de-stress and like, you know, be zen and calm, I really felt like this was the time where I needed to get the weighted blanket and not make excuses. I now had a really good reason for it. So this weighted blanket was a really good purchase because I think it's going to help, especially after a long, stressful day, just to kind of, you know, zen and lay under the weighted blanket. And I will have to update you guys on the results if it really does make you feel calmer and zenner and less stressed. Cooking mashed potatoes and chicken right now because apparently that's what my body wants, and I'm making 2 family-sized packages of chicken so that I have food ready to go, ready to warm up, ready to eat on my body's command. So hopefully that helps, because when I'm at work, like, I really struggle to like eat as much because I'm working, I'm not focusing so much on making sure that I'm eating. So then I have to eat like crap food to try and get my calories up, because the crap food is what's high in calories. And I don't want to do that every day. Like, if it's like, you know, once in a blue moon, that's fine. But I don't want to eat crap food every day. Like, I still want to eat like wholesome, good, nutritional food, even though I have to eat a lot. And I know in my last episode I said I was gonna do paleo style and just up my amounts, but I'm not restricting myself from anything. However, I still am going to try and eat a lot of like meats, fruits. I'm gonna go crazy with fruits because fruits carb it up. Vegetables, rice, potatoes, like eggs. I'm all in for that. So I am just trying to eat whatever, and like if I crave something like ice cream cake, I'm gonna eat it. All right guys, so that's just a little update, and I will keep you guys updated on more later. Hey guys, sorry it has been so long since I've had an episode. I have really been trying to prioritize my life and adjusting to this new lifestyle that I'm trying to make for myself, and making sure that I'm getting plenty of rest. But I don't want you guys to think that I'm not here. I'm definitely here. I've been trying to work on getting things planned out for some future content. And I'm doing that because I want to make sure that I'm in a good headspace, that I'm on track for recovery. I got really sick with a bad cold flu for 2 weeks. I also had to do some extra work those 2 weeks, and I wasn't getting enough rest and I wasn't eating enough calories. So I really needed to take the time to kind of focus on me, and I feel like I said that the last video. So I just want you guys to know that I am back on track. I am trying to get some content filmed for you guys so that this doesn't happen again, so that we don't have a bunch of lagging weeks. And anyway, so yeah, definitely follow me on Instagram, subscribe if you want to see some cool videos. They are coming. I'm sorry, I'm just building this ridiculous suspense. You guys are probably like, okay, she's done with it. Probably wondering why I'm talking in front of my closet. Don't mind the up part. I still have to straighten that part. But I've gone ahead and straightened all this. This is how OCD I am, you guys. This has been giving me anxiety. And the only reason that I've been taking so long to get it organized is because the inevitable is I'm supposed to go through my closet and get rid of all the sizes that I will never fit in again, which means smalls and most of my mediums. So I have literally gotten rid of a whole entire half of my closet. It is crazy, you guys. And now I've got all this chunk of space, and a lot of that's going to be going to, because a lot of that is my gym clothes that were smalls that are not going to fit anymore. So that is why I am in here. I literally have the craziest room going on right now, you guys. It is ridiculous, but it is part of the process. I will go ahead and update you guys later about how I've been feeling, how the first few weeks of recovery are going. I really just wanted to get this intro filmed and then show you guys what I'm doing as I'm doing it and make you guys a part of my journey. And you'll hear a lot of updates in future videos, just so you know. So if you're like really annoyed by it, then sorry. All right, guys, I will continue talking to you in a little bit about my updates. Hey guys, so I just got the greatest news of my life and just hysterically started crying. So my mom has reached out to me and told me that she found my real dad, and I'm gonna be 30 in December, and I've been looking for him since I was 8 years old and could get on a computer. So I'm so super stoked, you guys. Oh my god, I can't even talk. There's no words. Yeah, so I'm about to make my first call to him. I'm super nervous. All that I know so far from the conversation I had with her is that he knows about me. He wants to hear from me. He wants to have a relationship. And even his whole family knows about me. So, I'm so nervous, you guys. I'm so excited, but I wanted to film this little piece before I call. And let's see how this goes, you guys. I'm grabbing my charger because my phone is almost dead. Literally just got home from work and life. All right, guys. Hey guys, so I wanted to give you guys an update because my computer crashed, and so I know that I'm gonna be really behind on my YouTube episodes, and I wanted to give you guys updates of my process through HA. And I believe I haven't deleted any of the videos from other updates, so I'm gonna put them all together in one video. But I wanted to give you guys an update. So today is 42 days all in. I got the diagnosis, and 2 days later I went all in. I had ordered the book the evening that I got diagnosed, or possibly the next day, because I was at a work meeting when I got the diagnosis. And right after I got home, the day I decided to go all in, or that might have been the day before. Yeah. So the last update you guys got was the day before I went all in, the day after my diagnosis. And so the headspace that I was in was totally different, because I was obviously just diagnosed with this and knew that I knew that it was going to change my entire life. And there was a lot of emotional stuff. And I, in the beginning, thought, you know what, I'm still going to restrict food, but I'm going to do it in a healthy way, or a healthy way. So I had basically told you guys I planned on sticking to the paleo style, but integrating peanut butter and grains and all that. And what I discovered when I started going all in is, like, if I just start continue to start using these diet methods or these plans, I'm never gonna recover. So I decided the next day when I went all in to throw all that out the window. So I didn't stay with paleo. That thought literally left my mind after I posted that video. And I decided to just eat everything. For the first time in my life, really just eat and enjoy everything, not exercise. So I have not exercised at all, which in the beginning was really, really hard for me to do because it was my outlet. I enjoyed it. So with that being said, I didn't even do yoga or anything. So I've literally just been resting when I'm not at work. And because I know that I walk and I stand a lot at work, I actually have to like increase my calories. So we're supposed to eat a minimum of 2,500 calories. However, I'm taller, so I actually have to eat closer to 3,000. Plus, I'm active at work, so I have to eat closer to 3,500. My goal every day is to at least hit 3,000. And the first couple days, I would put the calories in my tracker just so I had an idea of how many calories I was actually eating. So I actually had like a mental visual of what I was eating and how much calories that really was, and like training my body to know this is how much you have to eat. And I only did that for like maybe 2 or 3 days, and I think I checked in one other time. But beyond that, I really just knew I had to eat a lot more. And if I wasn't eating as much as I know I should be, then I would just eat something super high calorie like sherbet or something to really kick up my calorie count. And there were other days where I was like, I really feel like I haven't eaten enough today, because it's not that I didn't feel hungry. I didn't feel hungry, but in my brain, I just always was conscious of not eating enough. So I always felt like I could eat more, or I needed to eat more. And so then I would eat something super high calorie to try and get my calories up. I asked friends and everything for advice on the most high calorie foods, like if they could eat a food no matter what the calories were, what would it be? And I just started like enjoying those meals. I started going out to eat for the first time in my life, really. I mean, like I really did not go out before. I never got fast food for like years, other than occasional games and things like that. But I would never be able to finish a meal. And now I can demolish a meal and eat 40 minutes later. So it's crazy. Like I feel hunger and everything. So fast forward to about, well, let's take you through the beginning process. So the first week was really rough. I really was kind of in a tough headspace. I wasn't hungry, and the first like 2 or 3 days. So I really had to like force feed myself. And like I said, I was calorie tracking on my tracker to make sure that I was hitting enough calories. But what I noticed at work is I get really distracted. And so I wasn't paying attention to whether I was really hungry or not, just because I knew I need to get this done. Or I was like starting to feel hunger and I was like, oh, I need to eat. But then I would get distracted with something at work and ignore it. And then afterwards I'd be like, crap, I know I was hungry and I knew I needed to eat. So now I need to eat something high calorie. And I'd go buy like a pint of ice cream and I would eat the whole thing just to make sure that I was getting those calories in. And then I'd go home and like make sure I ate plenty in the afternoon. Probably 2 or 3 days into it, I started feeling crazy hungry cues all the time, like all day long. It was ridiculous. Like I could not feel full if my life depended on it. I would literally eat from the time I woke up until the time I went to bed, and I literally would have the hardest time falling asleep because I was so freaking hungry. So eventually I would just have to fall asleep, but I would literally eat all day. And that probably lasted like almost a week. And then it started to kind of subside, and then I'd start noticing like hunger cues, and I was still pretty hungry throughout the day, but I was able to start sleeping. So two and a half weeks in, I started being able to sleep better. I started noticing little subtle changes. I started noticing I was getting color in my skin. People started saying that I looked like I was glowing. And then probably about 3 weeks all in, people started saying, wow, you're a blondie now. I'm like, I dyed my hair back in July and it is October. So it was crazy to see that like my hair must have gotten better. It must have gotten fuller, thicker, shinier. And I had started noticing those changes, but it was crazy hearing other people say those changes. And then when I started posting pictures on social media, people were like, oh my gosh, you look healthy, you're glowing. I started getting compliments all the time about like my clothing. And you guys, this is probably when I was in like the worst headspace because I knew I was gaining weight. And I'd say the first like 2-3 weeks, I was really uncomfortable. Like I could feel the rolls. Like every time I'd sit down, I feel like my rolls would touch each other. I just felt so uncomfortable. My clothes stopped fitting. Every time I put something on that would fit back when I was a little bit heavier. Obviously, I never had a female cycle because, yeah, I just haven't. That's why I am where I am. But even when I was at my heavier weights, I still couldn't fit in those clothes. So I literally felt so uncomfortable. My temperature would be all over the place. I just kind of felt miserable, and it was hard not to fall back into those old habits of working out or eating healthy. But I knew I needed to just push past this, and I know that I'm strong. I knew that I could do this, so I knew I needed to just push past those thoughts and say, yeah, it's uncomfortable right now. You're gonna be fine. You have goals. So I pushed past those thoughts, and now I don't notice the rolls. Like I think all the like weight that I have gained has started moving into my curvier areas because I've started getting curves, you know, both the bum and the bust area. And so I've noticed that my weight's kind of shifted, and I do have a little bit of a stomach. I got some fluff. Sorry for the boxes, you guys. So I have some fluff right here. Probably see a little bit better with the pants. But it's pretty smooth. So, and it doesn't look like, you know, like overweight or anything, you guys. Like, so when you get into HA recovery, like just push past those thoughts because those are going to happen because you've literally trained your body to be like okay with like the smaller weight. So any weight you're going to gain is going to be uncomfortable. That's just a fact of the matter. But as you go through recovery, your weight will shift and then it'll like even out and you'll look curvy. And I have gotten more compliments in my life in recovery than I have any time that I was at my most fit. So I do this because you guys, diet culture tells us that we should be dieting, we should be over exercising, we should have abs, we should be muscly, but that's not the truth. It's really not. And I hope that all my really fit friends out there and anybody that listens to this, I know it's going to be hard to hear that and you're probably going to be like, okay, you're crazy, but I'm living proof, you guys. I have felt the best I have ever been in my life in recovery. And I think it's really going to be life-changing. But when you get into this mindset of, I got to be fit, I got to be muscly, or I got goals, or I want to be a fitness model, or whatever it is, do what you got to do, but just know that you're hurting your body. If you're eating an energy deficit, you're hurting your body. You should be, as a female, if you're a shorter female, 2,000 calories a day, no less. If you're active, then you need to replace all those calories that you burn. This is where I ran into a problem. I would burn every calorie I ate. So I would end up with like 200, 400, 700 calories at the end of the day. I never ever ate more than like 1,200 to 1,400 calories in my life. So you guys, that's how I ended up the way that I am. So just know, if you're doing that, you're going to hurt your body. And eventually, if you're not feeling symptoms now, you're going to feel symptoms down the road. And it can't be healthy and it can't be good. So hopefully that helps kind of your mindset a little bit. Anyway, enough with the tough love conversation. So anyway, my weight's kind of shifted. So I feel like I'm in like a well-balanced body now. Like I feel like my body's balanced. I don't feel like I look like a preteen. I also don't feel like I'm too skinny or too scrawny or anything like that. And I never felt like that before, but I look back now and I think, gosh, my body just wasn't healthy. It wasn't full. It wasn't fully developed. And not gonna lie, I have some thicker thighs. I probably have some cellulite somewhere, but I don't really look at my body in the mirror too much. I will sometimes like rub my like stomach or my thighs, and I'll just kind of be like, this is new. This is like getting used to this. And that's just because I really want to be in connection with the changes and learn to just kind of love them. And I don't want to judge my body. So not gonna lie, like I don't really look at my body when I'm like changing my clothes or anything like that. I have not weighed myself at all. I know that I was 182, which is the heaviest I've ever been when I started recovery. And that was after I went on vacation. We went camping at Thayer, and then the following week I went to Vegas, and I drank a lot of sugary drinks, and I ate a lot of food. Probably not as much as I still should have, but I was eating like restaurant food, so not my typical healthy diet food. So I gained a bunch of weight in those 2 weeks. Who knew that that was actually me being healthy and that that was actually going to be good for my body? But instead, like, I was really critical about all the weight I gained. And then I came back and I got on my paleo and I started working out, and I wasn't losing the weight, and it was so frustrating. And now I'm glad that I found out about HA before I really started losing a bunch of that weight, because that weight was actually healthy. So I would say at that point, when I was on vacations, I was actually half in. Like, without knowing I was already half in. Like, I mentally wasn't there, but physically, those vacations, I was a lot less stressed. I was enjoying myself. I was trying food. I was, getting my weight up. And then when I came back, I kind of fell into that, like, not being half in, but it wasn't very long before I got the diagnosis. So I think that helped. But I technically have been all in, which means no exercise, eating calories for 42 days. Okay, so yeah, about 3.5 weeks in, I started like adjusting to my weight change, feeling comfortable with that. Like I said, my nails got better, my skin got color, it felt smoother, my hair was better, complexion, my body felt more in tune. I was getting compliments, and I literally just switched to like stretchy jeans. So I love the Angels jeans brands, and they can be spendy, but Fred Meyer's really good about putting them on sale. So you can get them for like $25 if they're on sale, you guys. I literally got 2 pairs of black ones and 2 pairs of blue ones and a pair of black ones. And then I got the Fred Meyer stretchy jeans, their dip brand. I got that in black too, but I noticed that that's not as stretchy and comfortable as I like the Angel jeans. And then I got these like high-waisted yoga pants. And they're super stretchy and comfortable. And like, I wear this maroon top because it matches the flowers, and I get so many compliments on this outfit, and I'll literally put my jean jacket on. So I feel comfortable, I feel stylish. I've started ordering some more bigger sizes. I finally started clearing out my closet, put everything up for sale so that I could go buy new clothes with my new body. And once I did that, I really felt at peace. And I literally took all those clothes and I went and put them in my trunk, because I was like, they're not gonna stay in my house. I'm not gonna stare and look at them and like anything like that. And when I started selling clothes, some of the girls would be like, oh, it's okay, you might go back to that size. And I'm like, no, I won't, because I don't want to be unhealthy. Unhealthy is me at a medium or a small. I shouldn't have smalls or mediums in my closet, because that's not good and healthy for my body. I'm pretty much solid at a large. Like, I feel good in a large, and some of the tops are looser, but that's what I'm most comfortable in. And with that being said, like, I feel like about 4 weeks all in, I stopped gaining inches. Like I said, I haven't been measuring anything. I haven't been weighing myself, nothing like that. So I've just been going off of like how I feel. And I feel like I stopped gaining inches in weight after 4 weeks. And I really don't feel like I gained a ton, but I'm still scared to get on the scale, because I know mentally, like, if I'm over 200 pounds, that's going to be a little scary for me. So I'm going to wait until I'm recovered to look, because then I know that that's the weight that my body needs to be at. So I'm pretty solid and happy. And my body, like I said, I feel like I haven't been gaining, even though I've been drinking soda, eating cake and ice cream and candy and carbs. And I do eat a lot of that typical healthy stuff, but I do a lot of unhealthy stuff now too, which is actually healthy. And I'm okay with saying that now. And I haven't been exercising, and I feel like my weight has stopped. I have not gained, I don't feel any inches, you guys. So when your body is happy at the weight it's at, it's gonna stop gaining. And Diet Recovery by Matt Stone books, when I read that, it just gave me so much clarity. He's a funny author. I was laughing as I was reading the books, and I'm not a reader, you guys. But he said the reason why obesity happens is because, first of all, it could be health reasons. So there could be like a illness or whatever. But 2, it's when you eat past the point of fullness. So when you are eating intuitively, which means you're eating when your body says it's hungry and you're stopping when your body says it's full, and you're eating what your body wants and you're not restricting or anything like that, then if you eat past the point of feeling full, then that's basically how obesity happens, because you're just like, it's another, basically the same mindset as HA, but in opposite. Like, you are mentally like just okay with the eating the amounts of food you're eating, whereas like in HA we were okay with not eating enough food. So if that makes any sense, if you're under eating or overeating, that's when you're going to have problems. And a lot of the times, if you look at the root of the causes, it's because you were probably going through some stressors or some life circumstances or whatever it may be, and that's what caused you to fall into this obesity or this HA. So just know that if you look at that and you rethink, like, you know, am I sitting here eating on the couch when I know that I'm full and I really don't need to eat, then maybe that's a sign that you might have an issue there. With me, it was, I could sit on the couch all day. Like, my days off, I would drink 4 cups of coffee and I would eat maybe once at dinner. But I had a really hard time, like, just feeling hungry. So with that being said, in the beginning of HA recovery, you're gonna feel full like the first few days. You still need to make yourself eat because your body's so trained not to eat that you do have to eat past fullness. So I just want you to know, it's only when you're recovered do you really not eat past the point of fullness. When you're in recovery, you should be eating. Even if you feel full and you haven't eaten much, you should be eating. So just know that. Don't use that as an excuse not to eat enough in recovery. Once you're recovered, which means you've had 3 solid female cycles, then maybe you can look at, like, if you've fallen into a problem of overeating, but I highly doubt anybody that recovers from HA is going to fall into that, because we're going to be fighting this like battle of like not under eating our whole life, and not falling back into under eating and dieting and exercising. So I really don't think that you're going to fall into that problem. But anyway, so that's how that happens. So anyway, 4 weeks all in, I feel like I've stopped like gaining, and I would say I'm about 5 weeks all in. Let's see, because typically 4 weeks is about, well, 7, 14, 21, 28, and I'm 42 days. So I'm probably about like a month and a half all in. So this last week, a few days ago, probably 4 or 5 days ago, I started getting the cervical mucus, which this might be totally gross for the guys that are watching this. Sorry. I'm okay. Like, I'm more comfortable talking about the female body than I ever have been. So if this weirds you out, like I already told you in the beginning, don't watch. Anyway, so cervical mucus, that started happening like 4 or 5 days ago. And then toward the end of that 4 or 5 days, so a couple days ago, I started getting cramps, like really bad. I remember sitting across from my friend, I think this was on Friday actually, and today is Sunday, sitting across from my friend at lunch and going, God, that hurt. It was cramps. And then the football game that night, I was having cramps. And then yesterday, same thing, I would cramp here and there, but I started feeling sick. Like, I started like feeling like body aches last night and like a sore throat, and I was like, seriously? I got the flu shot a couple weeks ago. I've been taking my vitamin D like religiously, like 2 5,000 IUs, which is what I've always done in the past, and I usually don't get sick. Now, if I don't get the flu shot and take the vitamin D, I get strep like back to back to back to back. But I've been doing really good about this. So I was like, what the heck? And I've been taking my temperature. I got my wisdom teeth out last week, so I thought, well, this could be part of that, but I didn't take my temperature for like the 3 days that I was recovering from my wisdom tooth. But other than that, I've been taking my temperature, and my temperature definitely spiked today. And I was like, well, maybe it's because I'm feeling sick and I'm running a fever. But then I got into my support group, and this girl got her cycle back, and she literally word for word explained what I was going through this last week, which led up to her getting her cycle. So the reason I'm doing this video now is because I'm so sure that my cycle is going to start in the next week, but I really feel like it's coming in the next few days. And that is going to be so massive, you guys, because I'm going to be 30 in the end of December, and I've never had a female cycle, and to recover like less than 2 months in. Oh, and I should mention that I had started birth control. I think it was the day of that I got my diagnosis, or I started it the day before. So I had to be on birth control for a month, and I guess I really could have stopped after I went all in, but my doctor was so sure that I was gonna get uterine cancer, and I'd already started it, so I just decided to stick with it. So that was 30 days, well, at least 3 weeks, and then I've gotten like a pill period. So I don't know if that would have messed up my recovery, but I still was all in. I still was eating tons of calories, not exercising, and I only did the pill even though I really didn't want to, just because my doctor wanted that. And you know, my doctor's been helping me out a lot. He's awesome. My doctor when I was 16 was a dummy, but my doctor now is super awesome, and he wants answers. So I just decided to do it just because he scared me into the uterine cancer thing. However, so I don't know if I would have recovered sooner had I not been on that. And I don't know if that's going to mess things up for this month. And I also don't know if this is just symptoms happening because I took that. So I'm not really going to start this month. But regardless, I feel like I could start in the next few days. So I wanted to film this video in the event that I do. Just because I wanted to show you guys the process of what I've gone through for these 42 days, so that if you're in the same position, maybe this timeline will help give you an idea of what to expect, and just to know that you're not alone. The support group is absolutely amazing. Even if you haven't lost your cycles and you feel like you're starting to fall into that, or you're starting to fall into HA, that support group will literally change your life. There's so many women that are going through the same thing, because diet culture has taught us that in order to be attractive, to be worthy, to be beautiful, that we have to have abs and be a size 2. And I used to think that too, but now I have a whole newfound look on life. I know that guys like the curves, and if a guy was to judge me based off of the way I look, then that guy's not going to be a long-term kind of guy anyway. So I love the way I look, and if a guy wants to be my guy, then he's going to have to like the way that I look too, and he's going to have to enjoy every minute of it, because that is who I am. So I think that's all for today. If I do start my cycle, I will definitely update you guys. I'm super excited about this process, and been waiting, long time coming. Oh, and I should say that I ended up finding my real dad this week, who I've never met, never got to hear from, nothing. And he's wanted me my whole life, and his whole family knows about me. So I would also say that that has been a huge weight off my shoulders, a huge stress relief. And so I honestly think that's helped my body become more at peace. Because that is definitely something that's been really heavy on me my whole life. So I also think that could have helped out with this recovery too. In the event that I recover, just know that sometimes those big life things, just kind of finding a way to relieve that could also help. So stay tuned for more updates. I'm so sorry that this video has been a long time coming. I am working on trying to find a good laptop. I just don't want to buy a piece of crap laptop and have it die on me soon again. So I'm just kind of waiting for that perfect laptop, that good price. And so sorry for the long wait. And I know I've been getting so many messages, and so many people have been asking me in person, when are you gonna have a new episode? When are you gonna have a new episode? And the fun videos are coming, you guys. Now that I'm gonna be getting a new laptop, the fun videos are gonna come. I'm telling you guys, it was like an all-day process to even do a 10-minute simple, like not a lot of editing video. It would take like 8 to 10 hours just to do that because of my crappy laptop, and finally it just crashed. So so sorry about this, but I am back, you guys, because if I'm posting this video, then that should mean I got the laptop and I'm back. If not, it might be a simple video that I'm editing on my phone and posting, but just know when the laptop comes, the episodes will come, the content will be there. I'll be back with you every single week. The mini episodes, I will still try and incorporate those, but obviously I am not going to be posting a bunch of fitness stuff, but instead I might be posting a bunch of healthy HA recovered posts, instead of fitness and wellness, because this is going to be a different type of fitness and wellness. This is going to be a healthy life. So I might title that episode The True Healthy Life, or, whatever. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get ready to go hunting. Cross my fingers I get something, and enjoy some time with my friend. All right, bye guys. Love you all. And we are to the final update, which is this current video. Don't mind the Christmas tree. It's a couple days after Christmas that I'm filming this video. So you guys get a little, Christmas tree here. I did kind of a pastel color. Super, super pretty. I love these ornaments. They are just so classy. I don't know about the red bow this year. I actually like having a bow on the top of the tree, but red does not go with pastel very well, so I'll have to get a different colored bow for next year. Anyway, so final update. I really haven't had a whole lot of changes other than the hormones seem to be more significant, more prominent, getting a lot of CM. Females, you should know what that is. Males, don't look it up. And I'm sorry, males, this is still not a fun video, I'm sure, for you guys, but it is good for you guys to know in the event that your significant other or your daughter or your niece or somebody ends up going through the same thing, then you'll know how to help them. So it's actually a good thing that you are watching this video, if you are. If not, you're purely probably just watching this just to kind of get an update on my life and everything. I gotta say, you guys, I am so much happier than the last time you guys have seen me. I was super emotional in that first video because I never want the option of not being able to have kids. I don't want the option taken away from me. Like, I want to have kids. And so the idea and being told that that's probably not a possibility and that I'm going to have to go to other specialists to get kind of an idea of if that's ever going to happen, that was a scary thought for me. But now that I have already seen major changes, I am a lot more hopeful, and I think that I'm on the way to a very bright future. So here's hoping. Other than the weight gain, you guys, I have loved every single change that I've gone through. All the hormonal changes, I'm loving every second of it. You guys, you females are so lucky if you have never had to experience this, because it is amazing. And I'm sure when I get my cycles, that's going to be amazing too. And the weight gain has been a struggle, but I'm learning to accept it a lot more. I got to say, when I bumped up to the last jean size, which I pretty much stayed at that. I haven't gone up, and sometimes I even feel like there's days where it kind of goes down a little bit, which then I get freaked out because I'm like, oh, did I not eat enough calories? But it's pretty much stabilized. So I hope it kind of stays at this. And then when I get my recovery cycles, I kind of hope it comes back down to a good point. I hope it's just kind of storing some extra weight. But even if it's not, like, I know that my body is doing what it needs to do to recover and to be healthy. And I no longer look at that fit body style as being attractive. I look at it and I'm like, gosh, that is just, I don't know. I don't see that as healthy anymore. I also don't want to see myself in that kind of a body anymore. It's not, I don't look up to the same people I guess I used to look up to, just because I know what I would have to do to my body to be able to get it to go to that point. So I'm definitely re-gearing my channel. It's definitely not going to be around fitness. I'm definitely kind of more of an anti-diet culture girl, because I'm all about empowering women, and I want women to feel healthy no matter what size they are. I want them to not feel like they need to starve their bodies to fit this mold of what everybody feels like you should look like. So yeah, stay tuned for more updates on that. I will bring out the fun stuff, you guys. I have a list of entire challenges I want to do. I'd love to get into some prank videos, prank stuff. As much as I like to scare people, like funny scare, like scare my friends, like jump out and scare them. I'm not much of a prankster, but if I can come up with some good ones, or if you guys have any, drop them in the comments. I might utilize those. What else? So I wanted to give you guys, if you do go through HA, or you just got the diagnosis, or you think you might have it, I wanted to give you guys some really good resources on what helped me throughout my recovery. One person from start to finish, and I probably mentioned her in some of these last clips, but Meg Dahl, Her podcast, Unbreakable You, literally was life-changing. I started following her and she had just recovered her cycles back in August. So I started just following her like a month after she had recovered her cycles. And I basically backtracked and went through her past podcasts. I keep up with her current podcast, and she makes it so relatable. So it really makes it feel like somebody is going through this with you, and it's super nice. And she's super real, super raw. Her Instagram also super amazing. She connects with everybody. Literally, we're addicted to the same show right now, and I was DMing her about it and she was replying. So she's just a really good resource for somebody if you are going through this and you need somebody who's gone through it, who is pretty knowledgeable, and has some great ideas on how to help, or just to be a friend. She's super awesome. So I definitely recommend Meg Doll. And one thing she did recently was cleaned out her closet, and she probably did that over a 2 or 3 day span, and she kind of recorded this whole journey in her Instagram stories, and I was literally connecting with her every step of the way. I was like, oh, I get it, because I did that like a month and a half all in. I knew that if I kept my smalls and my like smaller clothes in my closet and then went to go put them on one day, I would like freak out, because it just brings me back to this place of just not good. So I had to completely defuse my closet, post them all up for sale so that I couldn't pull them back out. But I totally get what she was going through. And then she did an entire post on her Instagram and talked about like the emotional and the kind of mental process you go through as you're cleaning out your closets. Because you're like, it's more than just like a physical, like I'm getting rid of this out of my closet. Like you're going through an entire other journey. So anyway, that was really good advice. And I really love following her. And so I think that could be super beneficial for other people that are maybe going through this kind of mental thing. Because there's a lot of that when you go into HA recovery. Another good podcast I like to listen to is Food Psych by Christy Harrison. She's all about anti-diet culture, and learning to adopt kind of an intuitive eating style. Not kind of, it is intuitive eating style. And to love yourself at every size, not to body shame, and just kind of accept yourself in the body that you're supposed to be in. She made it a lot easier for me to accept being in a bigger size than I've ever been in my life, because that's been the hardest thing. And so I've really, really loved her podcast, because now I feel less, frustrated about the weight gain, and I'm more excited about it because I know that my body's healthier. And I also started following Kayla Rose and Stephanie Buttermore, and they both on their YouTube channels, and they both talk about how you almost have to gain extra weight while you're in recovery. And then after you've recovered, which is 3 cycles, then you will start to almost see your weight go down a little bit, because your body's storing extra because it's in starvation mode. And until it's like trusts you and knows that you're not gonna starve yourself again, then it'll actually bring you down to your set point. Your set point is based off of your genetics and genes and basically your build and all that. So everybody has a set point, and based off of how much calories you eat, that's kind of adjusting you, whether you're below your set point or above it. So anyway, those 2 YouTube people have been very, very helpful in making me feel more comfortable about the future, and knowing that my body is not going to just be in this awkward phase and this puffy phase. There is a lot of this swelling. I feel like my cheeks are swelled, almost not, they're not swelled, but they're just really puffy. And then there's some days where I'll just notice it kind of goes down a little bit. And that could just be because my body is adjusting to the new foods. I'm not sure, but I've definitely got color back in my skin. My nails are better. My hair's better. I feel better. Most days my mood is better. Some days I feel super emotional, and some days cranky, but I also attribute that to some lack of sleep. And I think it's just because I'm still working on less stress. So I'm trying to adjust my sleep now so that I get more of that, because I feel like I'm still lacking in that area. What else? The Nourishing Women podcast by Victoria Myers is another really good podcast. Just like Christy Harrison, it's like anti-diet culture and taking those goggle blinders off that diet culture's put on us and trying to have a new view on life and how to really love yourself and really gain this intuitive eating and connecting with your body and knowing when your body's hungry and not trying to deprive yourself of the nutrients that it actually needs. So things like carbs are actually really good for you. Unless you have a diagnosed absolute disease where you should not be eating carbs, you should be eating carbs. Yeah, so those are like my big updates. And then like one thing that's been kind of new recently, is I've actually had a super, super great support system this entire time, which is mostly friends. But they've been like really supportive in a way of just kind of, letting me know like, hey, you're looking better, you're looking healthier, reminding me to eat. Like in the beginning, they would send me messages and text me and call me just to make sure that I was eating, because that was like the important thing, is I wasn't eating enough. And then now that I've gained this weight, now I'm having some people that are questioning this, and they're worried because of, society and diet culture telling us that if you gain weight, you're going to become obese, or if you gain weight, you're at high risk for diabetes. And it's just, they put all these fears in our head about how weight gain is scary. And it's not. I think there is a point when maybe weight gain can get scary if you're eating when you're not hungry and you're just eating to eat, and you're eating because maybe you're going through something emotionally. Whereas versus people with HA and other people who have HA who may have came out of eating disorders, they undereat, and that's how they dealt with their stress or their situations or whatever. But some people actually overeat to deal with their stress and situations. And so that can also cause the obesity and the things like that. Or if all you're eating is chips and cookies and soda, and those aren't just like indulgent items and those become your complete diet, then that's where obesity and, like diabetes and things like that can become a problem. But we've just been instilled to be fearful of indulging at all. And then all of a sudden, all these other things became unhealthy, like carbs and sugars, and it's not. And I think that if we can kind of shift our mindset and understand what it is to be truly healthy and in a healthy body, there would be a different view on life. And so I think because of what diet culture's done, and because of how uneducated people are on some of these other health issues like HA, people don't know how to react to it. And so I've had people in my life that have said, what you're doing isn't healthy, or certain items that you're consuming aren't healthy, like whole milk. Whole milk is very, very healthy for me right now. And in fact, whole milk is what you're supposed to give babies, because it's full of minerals and vitamins and the things that they need. And I need extra calories. I need extra fat. I need extra everything right now, because I'm supposed to be eating as many calories as I can. And let me tell you, 3,000 calories, which is my minimum, is a struggle. So I absolutely love whole milk because it's an easy way to get some calories in me, and get some extra nutrients and all that. And then, the idea of them being afraid of me becoming obese and diabetes, like those are fears I already had in my head. And so when I had someone in my life close to me, reinvite those fears into my mind, it was just like, I definitely cracked. And it was the first time I had really been faced with someone not being as supportive. And for me, if a stranger was to say it, it would be like nothing. So they'd be like, well, you don't know because you weren't educated, which is whatever. But it's really hard when it's someone that you do know, that you're super close to. That was the hardest thing, honestly. And I definitely cracked emotionally, because I've been pretty strong through this whole process. The only time I really cracked is when the last time I had to up my jean size. I definitely freaked out and cried in the car the whole entire way home and had a complete meltdown. And mind you, I was literally at Fred Meyer and like I was freaking crying in the dressing room because I was not happy that I was like going up to a jean size I'd never ever been in my entire life. And then I'm waiting in line and this elderly couple's taking their time and I'm like trying not to break down crying and I just want to get in my car so I can bawl. And then this guy is like off to the side, like kind of flirting with me and I'm just like, don't flirt with me. I'm so like, I was just having this horrible meltdown. It was ridiculous. And then I got in my car and cried the whole way home. And so I had a down moment there and then I cracked when I was faced with someone that wasn't as supportive and trying to explain myself, and them not really wanting me to be as vocal about this journey. But I feel it's so important to share this with you guys because this is what if you go through this, or maybe you aren't going through this, but if you let yourself get to this point, you're gonna know this process now. And I guess if I can help prevent women from ever going through this or help women that are going through this, then I feel like I've done my job on this earth. And I don't really care about the negative comments that people have to say, to be completely honest, because I'm showing, like, by example, all the things that have changed healthy-wise for me. So I'm showing that this works. I have no doubt in my mind that I'm not going to be recovered. And then the average recovery is about 4 or 5 months, but some people, like Megdal, it took her a year to recover. Some people have recovered in 3-4 weeks. But the average is about 4 or 5 months, and I will hit 4 months on January 14th. So I'm still right in there with the average. And I have felt like the last probably 2 months, 3 months, there's been times where I'm like, oh, I'm going to start. Like, so I know I'm close and I can't wait for my fertility appointment on January 10th. I'm hoping that they'll do some more blood tests so that I can kind of see what's like different and what's gotten better. Because I'm really excited about that, just to see some scientific factual progress. Like that would just be everything. But yeah, so anyway, I just want you guys to know that there's going to be some people that aren't going to understand this just because they're not educated on knowing it, because no one was ever taught this. This is not a popular issue in society, but it is a common issue in society. And so when those people are unsupportive, just remember, it's not that they don't love you, it's just that they don't understand. And it's kind of a hard pill to swallow because, like, for me, I can't surround myself by people. Like, I can't have people around me that aren't supportive all the time around me. Like, if it's just like once in a while, that's fine. But like, if I'm getting messages every day about like, hey, is this really going to work for you? Like, did you really get diagnosed by a doctor? Like, I don't think you should be self-diagnosing. Like, I was diagnosed by a doctor on September 12th, and I started my all-in journey on September 14th. Like, this was not self-diagnosing myself, but there are a lot of women out there that are self-diagnosing themselves. And all I can say for you guys, if you aren't going through this, but you maybe have somebody in your life that needs to or is, just support them. And if you can't, the best thing to do is just hang around them and love them for who they are, but don't criticize them on their weight or what they're eating or anything like that. Honestly, it's not anyone's room to judge. I'm just saying, like, I don't think that we should judge anybody on what they look like. I don't think that we should judge anybody on what they eat. Just live your life, love your life, eat, have fun, enjoy all the foods. Don't deprive yourself. Eat and have a great life. Like, that's what we need to do. So anyway, there will be more updates, you guys, but I will get those fun challenge videos, even though they're probably not as popular and trending. I will still do them. I will still update them, especially for you guys that are, I know you guys are on this channel and you've been waiting for an update because you guys have been asking me. But there will be some fun challenge videos. This is just a catch-up video, kicking the new year off, getting back on track. Gonna deal with the crappy laptop for a little bit longer, but the good stuff is coming. I'll have better editing and cooler videos. It's going to be really fun to look back at these videos in a year and laugh at my horrible editing and crappy laptop. So anyway, until next week, you guys, my plan next week is to hopefully get the video uploaded of meeting my real dad. So that's going to be a huge video. I just turned 30 years old on December 20th, and I just met my dad for the first time on Thanksgiving, and I want to show you guys that video, talk to you guys a little bit about finding your birth parents, if that's something that you're doing, and kind of like the journey going through that throughout your life. Anyway, so stay tuned for that next week. Heads up, my life is completely changed, as you guys can tell. So my channel's definitely going to change. So I will have a new channel name, and I will also have a new intro coming soon, and I will release what that name of the channel will be. This channel is not getting deleted. I'm just going to be changing the name to basically more kind of explain what this group is, because Dazzling Desires is more of like my business name. It's the name for my business. And my Dazzle Tribe is for my business with jewelry. And you guys can always definitely follow my jewelry journey. But this channel's turned into more of my personal journey and really wanting to connect with more people in the world. So I'm going to choose a more appropriate name for this channel and a new intro, because my last intro has a lot of fitness stuff in it, and that's definitely not going to be what this channel is going to be about anymore. So I'm really excited for that to be happening. So that's what you'll be looking forward to in the next few weeks. Okay, until then, thank you, the Dazzle Tribe. I love you all. I've missed you all, and welcome back. See you later.
I met you in my